cocaína.
Well, welcome back everyone, and guess what? I now live in Sydney. Woo! Yeah. So I finally made the move. I gave up my jobbing at Yulin at Moolarben. I now work as an accessory fitter. A lot's happened, hence the reason why I haven't been on YouTube. Sorry to everyone that liked following my stuff, but hey, these things happen. It was a life-changing thing, so you know, gotta live to accept that sort of stuff. I got myself a house. It's now finally like relatively set up. We've still got a few things to sort out, me and the missus. Me having a fucking, what do you call it? A wardrobe, that's it. Yeah, Jesus Christ, my brain just doesn't want to think of words. But what's new? That's definitely, me being able to think straight isn't one of them. Yeah, I was exceedingly seriously thinking about getting the Duke, but then I sort of like, I come to the conclusion today, so like this is all like, I'm just gonna ramble through like 10,000 fucking updates in a matter of like minutes, okay? So, the missus agreed that I could get the Duke. I got to sell the ZX. I was okay with that because riding around in the city, this is putting a lot of strain on my knees, back, and especially my wrists. It's becoming extremely painful even for work. But now my car's starting to get really sickly and it's becoming problematic, and I don't want to run into a circumstance where my car ends up dying. It costs me yet another $5,000 or so to fix, and I end up constantly in debt over this fucking car, which seems to be a reoccurring factor, that my car is costing me a lot of money. So I came to the sort of conclusion today, because I'm working on all these different cars, like I'm working on Hyundais, I'm working on Suzukis, I'm working on Holden, Jeep, what else have we got? We got Nissan, all the different brands, like the major brands, not all of them, but most of them. And I'm getting a feel for what's a good car and how well they're built and value for money and all that sort of stuff. I'm starting to think more along the lines of being smart rather than just buying the biggest, most baddest performance car I possibly could. As much as I'd bloody like to, but in saying that, I was actually seriously looking into Jeep Wranglers too, because you can pull everything off of them, doors, the roof, the freaking, you can knock the windshield down. And I thought to myself, that'd be the most handy thing for me to have when I go shooting out in the bush again. Because instead of me walking out into the bush with the rifle and then laying down in the grass trying to stalk my prey, I can just drive along, and then when I see something I just pull up, put my gun on the hood of the vehicle and shoot from there. I won't need a driver, I won't need a spotlighter, I won't need any of that. I won't need 3 people to do one person's job. Well, I could, in saying that, I could turn 3 jobs into one with that car. But you're spending about 50 grand on that thing. Money that I don't really have, theoretically. On top of that, the insurance isn't exactly the best on them either. Like, I pay about $1,600 a year for my car. The Wrangler's $1,300 a year, so there's not really a huge difference. And I'm trying to lower my expenses, like dramatically, because living in Sydney is expensive. It's very expensive. Yeah, so I'm trying to get rid of some bills because I'm not on the money that I was previously on. I've actually taken a pretty large pay cut in order to move here, but I want to live with the missus, so this is what I had to do. Sick of this travelling 4 fucking hours just to see my girlfriend. Now we live together. We've been together for over a year now, which is pretty bloody good. And the biggest reasoning behind buying the Duke was because the ZX is about $1,500 a year for insurance, which is a fucking lot. And the Duke, because it comes, even though the Duke's still a very powerful bike, it's still got lots of balls, it can accelerate harder than this off the line, but it only costs $650 odd in insurance. So it's literally half the insurance of this bike. All because it's classified as a cruiser. Now I can understand that, but a cruiser is not a bike that can freaking punch out 250 kilometers an hour, like, no joke. I don't think there's many cruisers that could probably, like, I'm not a cruiser rider, but anyone that is a cruiser rider, correct me if I'm wrong, but cruisers will probably struggle to hit that mark, like the average cruiser. I'm not talking about power cruisers, or I'm talking about your average, like, Softail, Harley Davidson, or Fat Boy, whatever. You're not going to be traveling down the road with ease at 250 kilometers an hour. With the Duke, would quite easily reach that speed, especially with that amount of torque. Like, that's insane. But the ZX goes faster. Like, where the Duke fails, the ZX picks up. So I guess that's where they are, why it costs so bloody much in insurance. And because it's a super sport, so it's constantly seen as a threat to insurance companies. But the benefit to this bike is, maybe I won't do it now, because traffic's moving. I was going to say, I can do this, and then I'll just go down the middle of all the traffic. But that didn't happen, did it? No, because traffic had to keep moving. Well, I'm not complaining, because I got places to be, and it takes 10 times fucking longer to get there in this place. Oh well, shit happens. If worse comes to worse, you can always just go into La La Land and go, oh, all the pretty colours, and the lights. That one sorry sack of shit on the treadmill. He looked like he was having the time of his life. Alright. No, it's been pretty good. Like, I am relatively enjoying myself here, except for the traffic. That's the only biggest downfall. And taking a long time to get places, which is mainly constituted due to the traffic and the way the roads are set out. Well, this is actually pretty good. Right now, I'm actually traveling pretty good, because this road in the morning when I go to work is packed. I have to lane filter straight down the centre of everyone, because everyone's at a standstill. It's pretty bloody shite. You get that on the big jolts. Oh yeah, so continuing my story about vehicles and money, I should probably close my visor because it's getting like stuff in my eyeball. I've already got an eyeball, I don't need a replacement as a rock. Alright. Smashing it. But yeah, I was, because I'm working on all the vehicles at work, I'm getting an idea of what cars are nice to work on and what cars are like, they feel good. I'm basically test riding vehicles every day. So that's part of, well, it's not part of my job because I'm just driving these vehicles to the sales where people buy them. But I get a chance to sort of see what they feel like, drive them around a bit, because it's a few kilometres to get to sales, and in city traffic that can take a long bloody time. So you get a good amount of time of playing with these vehicles. And I've done a little bit of research, not a huge amount, I'm still searching, but I've got, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck, when they hear this, but I'm kind of got my eyes set on the Hyundai i30 SR. So that's the sports model, warm hatch, if you will. Yeah, warm hatch, sports model. It's got all that neat features like bloody stuff, 19-inch alloys and stronger suspension, and yeah, this is where we go in the middle of everyone and be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to the front while you just get to sit here and do nothing. Alright. How good is it? How fucking good is it? Alright. Hey, that's right, Merc. I'm in front of you now. Yeah. Nah, it's got some cool shit. It's got, it's $30,000, brand spanking new, 30 grand, and I could get it cheaper because as an employee of this company, they give us big ass discounts, which is pretty freaking awesome. So $30,000 minus whatever my discount's gonna be. Come on, go green. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, so I might even be able to get it, you know, somewhere. Going off of what they were trying to sell me a Swift for, they knocked $5,000 off the asking price. So it was a $32,000 car, and they said, oh, we'll give it to you for about 25, 26. Well, that's close to $6,000 off. But anyway, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I'll just wait a little bit. What the fuck's going on? What are you doing? Alright, some people, there's just fucking shit going everywhere. But I'll just do this. This is awesome. I love bikes. Lane filtering is the best shit ever. That's the biggest issue I have with this bike when lane filtering is I have to do that. I have to put my mirrors all the way forward all the time because they're just so wide. But having wide mirrors is great for when you want to see shit behind you, but it's not so great when you want a lane filter. And that's the biggest problem with the Duke. Like, yeah, it's going to be a super comfortable bike. I'm not going to have any issues with like my wrists or anything like that. Like, because it's just like you're sitting on a couch that goes really fucking fast. Yeah? I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to go like this. That worked out well. Right. These grooves in the road really freaking annoy me. Why is everyone doing 40 kilometers an hour? Come on, let's go. I've got things to do. Come on, come on, come on. Let's do this. Accelerato Vento. I don't know, something from Harry Potter. Yeah. But yeah, you can't lane filter very well on the Dukes because they're such a fat bike. I mean, I wouldn't give a shit because I'd be comfortable. And that thing has cruise control and all that awesome stuff. But if I get the i30, I'd probably be driving more anyway. Just purely because, okay, here's the problems with my car right now that I have not gotten around to fixing because I'm, for one, don't have the time, 2, don't have the time, and 3, don't have the money. Well, I don't have the money to spend on that car. I've got money to spend on everything else that I need or require. But so for one, I can't use my aircon because it leaks inside the car. It's a simple fix. You lift the car up and blow out the drainage pipe for the condensation. I haven't got time. I work in an industry where I have a hydraulic lift. Still don't have time. And that person's car's fucked. Yeah. On top of that, because of the condensation building up inside the car, it's actually gotten into one of the plugs for the air conditioner and therefore shorted it out, which then the fan runs on a constant. I did a lot of research into this and people were saying, we were told that you have to replace your whole unit by Ford. No, that's not the case. It's just because it shorts out, sends a signal back to the ignition system to say that basically leaves it as a closed circuit, so then it's constantly running. Even when the car's turned off, even when the key's out of the car, even when you lock the car, the fan just constantly runs. You can't stop it. So I stopped it by pulling the fuse. That's my pain in the arse thing one, because I'm in a fucking city in 40-degree weather, sitting in traffic in a car where my ball sweat is going all the way down to my ass crack, and it's fucking disgusting. I'm sorry for that graphic nature of that content, but you get the picture. It sucks. So therefore, that's a big problem for around here. Secondly, I got suspension problems, and pretty big ones at that. I fixed the front end, but there's still something that's loose. That's really annoying the fuck out of me. I've got to stop swearing. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. I'm going to try better. There's an i30 in front of us, except it's not the SR, it's SE, which is the shit model. Or special ed model. See what I did there? I didn't realise I just took off in second gear, and I wonder why I bogged down. I seem to do that a lot in the city. I forget what gear I'm in when I pull up to the lights and think, oh, why am I stalling? And then look down and realise I'm in like 3rd or 4th gear. Why is everyone driving so slow? There's like, I can see over the top of your cars. There's no one fucking there. Jesus Christ. This is so shit. At the time it takes me to do freaking 5Ks here, I could have done 15Ks in Golgong. What is this shit? Get out of my way. Yes. Oh, it's 60Ks too. But anyway, on with what I was saying. So I got suspension problems and my diff mounts are fucked, so they need replacing. Quotes usually around the $1,100 mark just to have them replaced. I don't know if that's with the cost of the parts as well, but the parts aren't hugely expensive, but expensive enough not to be nice. So there's that, and then I've got an oil leak, which I believe is my transmission. So my car's in the morning when it's a cold start isn't changing gears very well. It sometimes slips out of gear or doesn't even go into gear, and it's just shitting me to tears because I sometimes go to take off and then the car just revs its fucking guts and I'm going nowhere. That's an easy fix. All I had to do was find the leak, plug it up, fucking put some more trans oil in. That's a job I could do myself if I had more time, and I really wanted to put in that much effort, which I don't particularly want to. The car's getting about 300,000 kilometers almost now, so she's starting to show her age. Like, she's still ballsy as hell. Still, I can get 5-second 0 to 100s and 13-second quarter miles out of her, which is slow to a lot of people, but for me that's a pretty quick car. I don't really want to spend the amount of money on this car when I know, for one, I've got more issues because I've had people from work saying it's blowing blue smoke out the exhaust, which I'm being told it can have it could be a multiples of problems. But my fear is it has something to do with the pistons, the rings, like the oil is getting past the rings and things are just a little bit too worn, especially for a boosted motor. One pushing out 347 kilowatts is probably not the best thing to be blowing a shit ton of smoke. The car cost me $1,600 or over $1,600 to insure. Guess how much the i30 costs? Now it's classified as a warm hatch, so that's basically a hatchback car that's got sportiness, has sporty stuff like wheels, suspension, stiffer chassis and all that sort of business and all that fancy features and whatnot. It costs less than the Duke to insure. It costs me the whole of $620 a year to comprehensively insure that car. And on the note of lowering my expenses, that's a bloody good thing. That is an exceptionally good thing. That's less than half of what I'm paying for a car that's how many years old now? So almost 20 years old now. I'm paying more for a car that's over 20 or around 20 years old. So, you know, it kind of makes sense to make that kind of a commitment over buying the Duke. That's where my mindset's at. Buying the Duke lowers expenses, lowers the risk of me having a breakdown, lowers me expending more money on the Falcon. I've already got a bike that's been impeccably reliable. This bike is insanely reliable. I have not had one mechanical issue and it's got 36,000 kilometers on it, which some people that ride out in the middle of bumfuck, that's not a lot. But for the average rider, that can be quite an amount, which I do believe I'm due for a service as well. So I'm going to put up with having numb hands and sore wrists and all the rest of it. Yes, I will still have to pay the insurance on this bike. Yes, it's still going to be expensive, but I will have less than half the insurance buying a brand new car. And yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of people saying, what the hell are you doing? You've got a supercharged 6-cylinder that's ballsy as hell. Yeah, I know. But you know, I've got to think about a few other things here. You know, sooner or later, me and the missus are going to have kids, get married, all that sort of good stuff. I can't be riding around with kids in the back of the car and then breaking down in the middle of bloody nowhere and then having a couple of kids or whatever, how many I have, screaming and crying and, oh fuck, that was a bug. Ow. Time to close the visor. Screaming and carrying on at me, saying they're hungry, they need to poop, whatever, but I can't get them anywhere because I'm stuck in fucking nowhere. All because I couldn't keep up with the constant, ever-growing, pain in the ass maintenance of the Falcon. Being such an old car and being boosted when it was used to be naturally aspirated. I mean, I love the car to death, but fuck me, it's costing me too much money. And the fuel, it just punches through fuel. When it was naturally aspirated, I could get 11 fucking liters per 100. Yeah, that's it. 11 liters per 100. Right? So that's out of the book, out of the brochure, if you will. I was, like, if I was doing only highway driving, I got it down to 10, but at the moment, it's averaging about 13-14 litres per 100, which is quite a lot. Now, my missus' car, which is a Toyota Yaris, it's rated at, I think it's rated at 6 or 7 litres per 100, and because she obviously lives in the city, so she's going to get a little bit more. Her average, the car has measured 8 litres per 100. That's pretty freaking good considering I'm a heavy foot and I've been driving her car too. Now, the i30, it is a turbocharged motor, so yes, it's boosted, woo, yeah! But it only rates at 7 litres per 100. If I'm making 8 or 9 litres per 100 with my heavy foot, I'd be freaking happy. I'd be really happy. So, you know, I'm saving money on insurance, I'm saving money on fuel, I'm saving money on expenses for the vehicle in repairs. I mean, there's really nothing that sort of sells itself. It just seems to be a no-brainer. Like, shit, that was close. I don't know what's going on. Who's going? Come on, let's go. Yeah, there's cops. They're not after me. Oh, cops with ambos, so someone must be hurt. You get a lot of that around here. It's like every day is like freaking at least 10 sirens just in my house alone. Come on, before it goes red, I don't want to sit here. There's a lot of people on here today. See if I can punch it past these people once this fucker gets out of my way. Come on, mate. I'm letting you in. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I don't understand. This is the other problem. On ramps, you're supposed to speed up to the speed of the highway. Yet we're still doing 56. It's 90k zone we're coming into. Lucky for me, I can do this. Screw you all! Woohoo! Fucking hell, there's cops and shit everywhere. What's happening there? An accident? Well, that's... Ooh, must be an accident. Yeah, so enough with that. This is probably going to be an extra long video that's going to take me super long to upload. Because another thing I noticed about Sydney, the internet here sucks so freaking bad. Like I was getting 3 megabytes a second, which according to like other countries is pretty shit too. But on the NBN network, I was downloading 3 megabytes a second. Here, I'm downloading 1 megabyte a second. It's freaking putrid. Absolutely putrid. That's like downloading from Steam, mind you, so Steam's not the best thing to be downloading from. But still, an upload speed, holy shit, this is what's gonna kill me doing YouTube. At home I was doing, like, when I'd use, what's it called? If I can get the words out. Oalia, or some bullshit speed test. I was getting 500 megabits per second, I believe it was, on NBN upload. I'm getting 80 megabits per second upload here in Sydney. So I apologise if my videos, even though they haven't exactly been coming out very fast when I was on NBN, I apologise if it's going to take me just as long here because of the painfully slow process of uploading, especially considering my videos tend to be quite long and I upload at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So it'll probably take the better part of a day just to upload one video. Which isn't that bad considering I could probably do 2 videos. I could probably like film 2 videos, and whilst one is uploading after I edit it, I could start editing the next video and then have that ready for upload when the first one's finished. You know, we've just got to work with what we got. We're like right on the edge of where NBN finishes, and we're still waiting for the technicians to build the rest of the network in our area, so we'll see what happens when that kicks in. Alright, 100 zone. Oh yeah, you're very nice, very nice. So much traffic. People ask me, do I get scared driving at night? Not really. It's just like anything else. Like, people kill you, try to kill you every day. It's just a matter of how good you are at avoiding them. I got a puncture in my freaking tyre. Had a bolt through it the other day, so I'm hoping it's holding up with the plug that I've put in. Can't really tell. It's not wobbling too much, but I tested the pressure today. I've had it blown up for a couple of days now, and it's going down like 1 PSI a day, I should say. So it's, you know, there's probably a leak somewhere, but this tyre's pretty shit too, so it needs to be replaced. Anyway, I think I'll end that one there, because I'm going to concentrate on what I'm doing, and if I think of something to talk about, I'll talk about it and then put it up in a second video. Peace out! Yeah.